how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, ma'am. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. So I've noticed that you've been working in various banking sectors, and I also had a look at your CV, and it's pretty great. So congratulations on that.
Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll be starting with the case interview now. So in this, you'll be given a case relating to a particular industry. You'll have to analyze the scenario and come up with a feasible solutions. So is it clear?
Yeah, it's clear, ma'am.
So can we begin with the interview?
We can.
Okay. So this is your problem statement. Your client is an SME bank whose non-performing assets has been rising more than the industry average. Your job is to figure out the reason and come up with certain recommendations.
So to reiterate, the client is an SME bank whose non-performance assets have been rising more than the industry's average, and my job is to figure out the reasons for so and recommendations for the same.
Yeah, right. You can take some time to gather your thoughts.
So to understand the problem better, I'd like to ask some preliminary questions.
Yeah, go for it.
So what kind of sectors does the client extend loans to, and where exactly geographically is the client located in?
Okay, so the bank extends loans to almost all sectors, be it e-commerce, automobiles or retail, and the client mainly operates in Singapore, Indonesia and Malaysia.
What is the industry average for the NPAs, and how is our client performing quantitatively?
Okay, so the industry average for NPAs is about 2.5% of the loan extended, whereas 6.5% of our clients' loan end up as NPAs.
Okay, how is the return on investment of a client in comparison to other players in the same industry?
So our client doesn't have the best ROI in the market.
So have they adopted any measures to figure out whether to lend or not?
No, they haven't, but what do you think we should look into before deciding the same?
Okay, can I just take a minute to structure my thoughts?
Sure, take it.
So my approach would be to first find out the reasons for defaulting of the loans, and I'd like to break them down into two different approaches.
Sure.
So the first approach is the customer is not making enough money, and the second approach is that the industry that we've been lending to is not doing particularly well.
Sounds great.
So now I like to state some reasons for the company to not make enough money by the customers and industries. So some of them could be the low return on investment, the supply demand issues, and the COVID-induced supply shortages, and the government regulatory issues.
Okay.
So my initial hypothesis is that the companies that have been lending to hasn't been doing particularly well, and hence they are unable to repay the loans. Is that a fair assumption?
Alright, we can explore your initial hypothesis and say that maybe the SME bank didn't stop lending to bad industries at the right time.
So is there any particular industry that is responsible for the significant amount of NPAs?
Yeah, in this case, you can assume that lending has been made to the good industries only. How will you proceed further on this?
So do we have information about the loans that we're giving? Are we giving business expansion loans or working capital loans? The reason for me asking is that because business expansion loans generally require larger sums of money than working capital loans. Is that a reasonable line of thought?
Yes, you're on the right track. Given the unpredictable nature of business, a lot of small enterprises have been taking loans for expansion purpose. So what do you think our clients should do to avoid future NPAs?
I think the client should use much more comprehensive customer data and use different indicators to estimate the risk sources. The indicators can be divided into past and future indicators.
Okay. Can you elaborate on these indicators?
So first is the loan terms, which includes the amount, the duration of the loan, and the purpose of the loan. The second is past default records. Third is analyzing the customer's P&L statement and balance sheet, and fourth is assessing the collaterals attached, if any.
Okay. Let's discuss the future indicators now.
Yes, sure. The possible future indicators are the purpose of the investment, the predicted revenue forecasts, the number of investors who are backing the plan, and the estimated future performance of the industry as a whole.
Yeah, that's pretty comprehensive. Well done. We can close the case now.
Thank you.